Welcome back, everybody. This is we're recording this after we've posted episode 10. I know it's been a while between episodes 8 and 9. I was gone for a couple months, but I'm back now. I had to go on a deployment. It was not fun. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Yeah. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing about what we really don't like about our trucks. So, Anthony, go ahead and start us off.
Oh, well, hi, everybody. We haven't really done the original intro like we usually do. So, hi, I'm Anthony. My co-host John is here. And yes, we are going to be talking about what we do not like about our trucks. And I guess I'm starting off with this one. One thing I do not like is what I found recently. The traction control cannot completely be turned off whenever you're in the snow. And I don't really like that.
Do you not have like a slippery mode?
No, I have no modes. I have an off-road mode. That is it. And it's supposed to change the transmission mapping and whatnot, but it's like whenever you want snow, you want as much wheel spin as possible, like wheel spin for snow and or mud. And freaking traction control just likes to intervene no matter what. And I really hate that. And I can't turn it all the way off, and it won't let me. I've did the long press to turn it off completely. I've put it in 4 low, but it always wants to intervene. And I know it's intervening because it won't give me full throttle. Just likes to use that wheel braking to try to gain traction again.
Yeah, it's there to try to help you, but it doesn't know the mode or what you're actually driving in.
Yeah.
So for my Maverick, I don't have that. I have a slippery mode where I can put it in, and it's very nice. I actually had to use it last week because there was so much snow. It was ice everywhere, and it was very bad. So I had to take off. Actually, I didn't even have to turn it off. It automatically turns it off, so it knows if the wheels are spinning. It's probably because it's on ice.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine does kind of the similar thing, but it's called stability track, and it tries to keep the car in line whenever it detects slip. But it also has this thing called auto 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So if it detects slip, it turns the 4-wheel drive on, turns on the front wheels if it does detect any slip. But you're not supposed to use that off-road, otherwise it will destroy the clutch on the transfer case. Any questions about that?
I don't have any questions about that. I think we've covered that.
Okay.
So there's one thing I don't like about my truck is I could have gotten it for the bed of my truck. It's completely just painted. There's no liner or anything. I wish I had a liner for it.
Yeah.
I think I know your old red one had a liner. I don't know if your new one does.
My current one does. It's a spray-in liner.
Yep. I wish I could get something like that, but I'm putting money elsewhere right now, so like it's not a top priority for me. But it would be very nice because it looks nice, and it just helps protect the paint of that bed and just helps make that last longer, you know?
I mean, you can always add it later.
Yeah. That was my thinking as well when I was ordering the Maverick was, well, I don't want it now, but I know for a fact I'll want it later. And then, like, when we were in Colorado, we were throwing all that wood in the back, and the trip there, I already had a whole bunch of stuff in the back because that's, my main mode of stowage. So stowage. Yep. So it got scraped up pretty badly already, but it's a truck. So
I mean, once you put that spray in liner, it's gonna be like new. So no matter how messed up you get it, it's gonna be like new once you spray that liner in. Or unless you get the plastic tray version.
I don't think I'll do that. I like the look of the spray in liner better.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, since we're moving back to me, one thing I do not like about my truck is being in a mile-high city, you don't have as much air density. So I don't have nearly as much horsepower as I do at sea level. And it kills me sometimes. It kills me. And I didn't realize how much horsepower I had comparatively until I drove home with my truck. and I had probably at least 70 more horsepower. At least felt like it going home than it was here. And then just like slamming my foot to the floor, it just doesn't have as much get up as I would like it to.
You also have all that weight, which is an added factor, especially in Colorado. Being up that high.
That too, but just comparative to whenever I was home, I just had so much more power. It was weird how much power I had too.
That's what happens. The denser the air, the more air you can get in, the better it is. So that's why like superchargers and turbos are better.
Yeah, well, if I had the money, or what was it, like $6,000, I would be putting a supercharger in this thing, because there is one out there for it now.
Oh yeah, nice. You know, my 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, perfect when I was up there.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. I wish I had a turbo.
So, another thing I really don't like about the Maverick is, I'm gonna go back to the truck bed itself. It's so tiny compared to like everything else. Mm-hmm. There are smaller truck beds, and I look at those ones and I do not envy them. I'm so glad that I have at least a 4-foot bed. There are things that I can get to make like a bed extender where I just put down the tailgate and then it adds that little bit to the bed.
Yeah.
But it's not covered by the tonneau cover tonneau cover.
Yeah.
And it also just looks weird driving with your tailgate down. I know there's the myth out there, if you drive with your tailgate down, you get better gas mileage. However, I think I saw something that Mythbusters did, where you actually don't get better gas mileage because you're creating more drag, because if you have it up, you'll create like a vortex, basically an air bubble that will help with the aerodynamics of the truck.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having a 10 on mine doesn't help that at all.
Oh yeah.
I could get a roof rack and get rid of that, but it's also expensive. Who knows? Back to me. Let's see. What else do I not like about my truck? Okay, I'm gonna have to bring it back to my old truck. That was a 6-speed transmission. That transmission was awful. This one, the 8-speed, is much better, but I only have like 72,000 miles on the truck, so we'll see if that starts having issues. But on my old truck, transmission was a big issue. It pretty much gave out on me in certain points, and I had to get rid of it because of it. I was gonna have to replace that transmission at some point, and I knew that was gonna be super expensive. It had a reputation of it giving out. People were having to bring Colorados back to the dealership just to get new transmissions, and I was not ready for all that, so I ended up just buying a new truck. So that's what I hate about the Colorados in general. Like I said, this new 8-speed is much better. It's better gear ratio, and overall I like it, but we'll see how it is doing in the end. What about you, Johnny boy? Got anything to add?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know how much of a pain it was for you because you kept talking about it, and I don't know if you were able to convince the dealership that there was nothing wrong with the transmission, or if you had told them like, hey, this is going on with the truck when you did your trade-in.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with the transmission when I traded it in. It worked perfectly fine. Yes, it was great. I just loved it so much. Yes.
Anyway, moving on. So, one thing I don't like about the Maverick, another thing I should say, is the amount of safety recalls I have on it currently.
Oh, shoot. That's not good.
There's a lot, but they're like super minor things. Like one of the safety recalls is a blinker doesn't work in the back sometimes. It's like, oh well, I haven't had that problem, so I'm not. It had something to do with like the computer programming. So it's pretty much you go in, they'll plug something in and update.
Yeah.
So there's that, and there was like another one where there's something wrong with the battery. People were having it die in the middle of the road because you know how, since I think it was like 2018, all cars have to have the automatic stop.
It's a stop and start, yeah.
Yeah. Like it turns off when you come to a red light.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently people had trouble of it when it turns off, it won't turn back on because something would solder itself in the battery or something along those lines.
Does yours use two separate batteries for the stop and start and the main battery, or is it all run off the same battery?
I think it's all ran off the same battery because every time I've opened up the hood, I've only ever seen one battery.
Okay. Well, okay. So my aunt has had an issue with her stop and start stuff, and apparently there is a separate battery, at least, okay, and so in the Grand Cherokees, there were two small batteries that handled just the stop and start. And they were located like under the driver's seat or something like that. It was really weird. So I didn't know if you had something similar, because I know that's a usual practice.
Yeah, that's not to my knowledge. I have no idea. I could do some digging, but I don't think so.
Well, that's not good. You have a bunch of safety recalls. Any airbags?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with the airbags. Not to my knowledge. I know I have like 3 or 4 different safety recalls, and since it's such a new truck that there are probably going to be a couple more safety recalls before like it's completely done, just since of how newly built these trucks are. They haven't been road tested forever, you know. Like,
what year is yours again?
A 2022.
It's almost 3. It's 3 years old now.
Yeah, just about.
Dang.
Except I got it in the year, correction, not the year. I got it in November of 2022. So.
Yeah, it's still built in the middle of a year.
I ordered it in March.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was looking at Tacomas and you're like, oh yeah, hey, I've seen this ad. And I started looking into it and I was like, Tacoma, that's about the same price, but has 100,000 miles, or a brand new truck.
I should have just let you buy the Tacoma.
Brand new truck.
Yeah, Toyotas hold their value a little too much nowadays.
Yeah.
Anyway,
moving back over to you. What's something you don't like about your truck?
This actually came up, and I have been thinking about it. Freaking Chevrolet and Apple do not get along whatsoever. Freaking, I've had so many issues with Apple CarPlay with my truck. It has been so obnoxious. I just turned it off completely. Freaking, I would connect my phone to my truck, and then Apple CarPlay would pop up. Every time I try to play music, or go to navigation, or literally do anything, it would freeze my entire infotainment system, shut it down completely, reboot, go back to Apple CarPlay, freeze, shut it down, reboot, and it would do the same thing over and over and over again. I have to catch it and tell it to stop doing Apple CarPlay. So I just turn it off completely. I call the dealership. They're like, well, we can't really do anything because Apple and Chevrolet don't like to play together. I was like, whatever. So ever since then, I've just left it off and have just used the Chevrolet crappy infotainment system software. And yeah, so that's my one big gripe with Chevrolet in general.
I know you had something in your old truck that like sat on top of the.
Oh, I still have it. I just don't use it.
Does that work?
I mean, that thing is pretty finicky too. It does have Apple CarPlay on it, but it's pretty finicky because I would have to connect to it, get Apple CarPlay up, and then go on my phone and then tell my phone to put audio to my truck instead of the little screen, because the little screen has speakers in it too, apparently. So I would have to do that every single time, and it was really annoying. So I just use my phone screen for everything now. It's so dumb.
Does that at least have Bluetooth?
My car?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has Bluetooth, and I can connect it straight to the infotainment system with my charger.
No, that's fine. So I know in my truck when I want to do Apple CarPlay or whatever the Android Auto and Android whatever, I have to plug it in. I can't do it wirelessly. That's a different upgrade that I opted out for because I didn't feel like it was necessary.
Yeah. I don't think mine's wireless.
Oh, you have to.
You have to plug it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you're having problems with it being wireless, maybe you should just try plugging it in. But since you are just plugging it in, it's not working.
Yeah. Plus, Apple CarPlay just drains my battery on my phone so quickly too. Because the little screen is wireless Apple CarPlay, but it would drain the crap out of my phone battery. So it was annoying.
Yeah. Nope. Mine just you plug it in and the car runs everything. So.
Okay. Well, what about you? Got any more gripes with your truck?
Yes. I don't like the clearance on it, but there are things I can do to adjust it. I like how small it is, but I also hate the fact that it's not raised up enough, you know?
What's your clearance again? I forget.
I don't even know my clearance. I bet if we did a quick Google search, we could probably find it, but I would say it's around like 6 inches, I think.
Yeah, I think you would need a little bit more than that. I mean, it did fine on the trails, though. At least the trails that we did.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So the AI overview for the Maverick ground clearance is 8.3 inches. The all-wheel drive model having 8.6, and the FX4 and Tremor models having 9.4. However, those are for the 2023-2024. Where they come with that 2-inch lift kit and better wheels.
Oh, off topic a little bit. Have you seen the new Mavericks? The new body redesign?
Oh, they did a redesign? No, I haven't.
Yes, their front end is completely different.
For 2025?
Yes. The inside's a little different too. It's a bigger screen, but it's a little bit different.
Oh, I think I have seen that. Where it's like the bumper kind of like goes into the headlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen those on the road already. I don't know how I feel about that.
They're out and they're being sold, but yeah, they have the Midnight Black Edition. Looks really good, actually.
See, I love this tiny truck. I'm so glad I got it. I'm so glad you showed me. But again, the safety recalls are a big thing. Oh, another thing, what I don't like about it, next to my screen, there's, like, for the entertainment system, the radio, there's a little, like, box that has no purpose. Yeah, it has no purpose.
Yeah.
It makes no sense as to why it was there. So I've seen people, like, 3D print off a, do not open this, or a, what's the eject button, passenger eject button.
Yeah.
So those are kind of cool.
I have an idea for that cubby too. You could use that as like your switch panel.
Yeah, I think I've heard of people doing that as well. It also looks like in the 2025 version they made it a larger screen and got rid of that cubby.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, I think the powertrain's about the same though.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Just looks different. What's very funny is I think they're still doing the hubless caps.
Hubless caps.
Sorry. The wheels that don't have the hubcaps on them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the steel wheels, or are you talking about the aluminum wheels?
Not the aluminum wheels. I have the aluminum wheel. The steel wheels that has like the bunch of holes, and it just looks so shitty.
Oh, because it doesn't have a cover on it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, the hubcaps.
Oh,
They don't have hubcaps.
Okay, yeah.
The wheels that are hubcapless.
I mean, if you have an off-roader, it's pretty nice, so you don't scratch up your nice aluminum wheels. I mean,
yeah,
but if you were gonna switch out tires for like a tire and wheel package, I would get Steelies and do that instead.
Yeah, I would as well. Oh yeah, that one looks very nice. This one's definitely raised up. Oh, it's the Tremor package. That's why. Yeah, that's. I need that front bumper, and I need that lift kit with those bigger wheels, and then like it would be a perfect little go-getter.
Maybe for around town, but if they keep cracking down on that new rule that I've heard whispers about, I think we talked about it one time where they are not allowing some all-wheel drive vehicles on certain trails.
Yeah, you have to have. I think it was. Yeah. But mine's been fine. The roads that I've been going on haven't been those ones in general.
We haven't gotten there yet, at least.
I don't think I'll ever get there with this truck, you know?
No, not with that truck. I wouldn't think you would. Maybe eventually I can tell you to buy a real truck. Or convince you to buy a real truck.
You wouldn't have to convince me.
Can I have to convince your wife?
Exactly.
Hey, if we make the right money in the right areas for the right reasons, she'll turn around.
Maybe. Yeah, as long as we're making enough money, yeah, I reckon she would agree to it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for any bitch, gripes, or complaints?
I think one of the things I don't like about my truck, well, I guess this isn't really a problem with the truck itself, but a feature that I wish it had is the newer Colorados, they have power outlets in the bed. If I had an outlet in the bed, or a light or something like that, because even the new Colorados have like a light back there now, it would be great and very useful, especially for camping. And I can get like an electric stove and plug that in and use that back there, because I cook on my tailgate anyways. If I had that, that'd be great. Other than that, I don't really have any more gripes with anything.
Maybe, not yet at least. We haven't covered everything, I don't think.
Not yet. We'll see this summer, because I'm going to be using it a little bit more this summer too.
Yeah. So I think on the Maverick, I have a tail light that I can like turn on and off, but it's not the brightest. And there are, when I was customizing it, there are other options to install an outlet and install those lights. I wonder if you had the same opportunity if the guy who was, who pre-ordered it and or the dealership just made it that way. So I wonder if you have a way of, upgrading to get that.
I don't think this generation had it. Even at the end of its run, I don't think it had it. I know that people modify their trucks to put that kind of stuff back there, but I don't think they had that option from the factory with this generation.
Yeah, I'm sure you could easily work something out.
I'm sure I can.
Put a gas generator back there that has an outlet already.
Shoot, I already have the battery pack. I just need to buy a bigger one.
Yeah.
You have any more gripes with your truck?
I can't think of anything else right now, but I'm sure I have little minor ones. I think the turning radius on it is kind of garbo.
Garbo.
Yeah,
okay.
It's. Okay. I haven't. Olivia, my wife, she says her Ford Explorer has a better turning radius, which I haven't really noticed. However, it has brought it to my attention. Like, oh yeah, the turning radius is, for as small as this truck is not the greatest.
Yeah. Ooh, I have one that I want to get your opinion on. The factory, the tires that came from the factory with the truck. What is your opinion on them? Daily use versus off-road use.
I got the all-terrain ones, so I've just been using them all terrain. I should probably get new ones here soon because I'm almost at 40,000 miles now.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, remember I took a trip to Colorado. That added a lot of miles to it.
That is true.
And it's a daily driver, so. And all the adventures I have previously gone on, it's seen a lot of road.
Yeah.
Either way, I think they're better as street tires. I don't think they should be necessarily off-roading tires. Like, they're good for like gravel and whatnot.
Yeah.
However, they're just from the factory. They're just normal all-terrain tires. There are definitely more aggressive all-terrain tires that I can get that will fit the truck, but I just haven't gotten them yet. So
whenever I was in Seattle and I was looking at them, they seemed so skinny. They were the skinniest tires I've ever seen on a modern truck.
Yeah, well, it's not a large truck in general, so like the Explorer has bigger tires because it's a bigger vehicle and it doesn't need large wheels. The Maverick, at least.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just found it so weird that they were just so small. But either way. But yeah, if you were to get new tires, what brand would you trust enough to put on your truck?
I was looking at the BFGs.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't done a whole lot of research. So, but those are the tires that it would definitely go with.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, my truck from the factory came with the Goodyear Wranglers. And I of course I bought my truck used. Those tires were really worn down, and they get so freaking loud whenever they're worn down. They're great in snow when they're brand new, but then when they're worn down, it is awful. They're super loud. They're not great at grip, and I had to get rid of them pretty quickly after I bought the truck. Plus, I went up like 2 more inches bigger than what I had before, so that was nice. But yeah, no, Goodyear Wranglers, great tires when they're new, not when they're not new.
Yep.
But I think that's all my gripes for now, at least on my truck. Do you have any more, or?
I think I have one, not necessarily about the truck, just about how new it is. Another new thing about it, there's not a lot of accessories for it.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about like aftermarket stuff?
Yeah, aftermarket accessories. I still don't think there's more than just that Rough Country making a lift kit for the Maverick. I think they have been the only ones I've seen still.
There is one Maverick page that I follow on Instagram. I don't know if I showed you him or not.
I think you have.
But I bet you if you look at some of the stuff he has, you can kind of get an idea of what's being made for Mavericks.
Yeah.
There is not a lot, just because
No.
I don't think a lot of people are using them to off-road, though. That's the thing, unless you have the trimmer.
Yeah, exactly. And that was made after mine was made. So
Yeah.
I was very upsetty spaghetti when they announced the trimmer package, and I was like, are you f***ing serious right now?
If I had just waited probably I think it was 5 or 6 months after I had told you about it, I think they announced it. Or no, I think it was 5 or 6 months after you had bought yours, they announced it.
Yep.
Which was insane. That's so funny.
I don't even think it was that long. I think it was a couple months because I got it in November.
Would you have bought the trimmer over the FX4 package if you knew about it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
The trimmer package is everything the FX package has, except it also includes the front bumper that you get the better incline with. So I think when I was looking at it, you have to have the FX4 package and the trimmer package in order to get the trimmer package.
Oh, okay. Well, you could always trade it in and get it.
Nah, can't do that now. I don't know if you remember, but I hit that stick.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You scratched it up. You banged it up. Why you gotta destroy it, John? Why?
It's not destroyed. It's just got some love to it now, you know?
It's completely in tatters. Parts hanging from things. Plastic broken.
Speaking of that, actually, one thing I got another thing, actually. So my skid plate is protecting my oil pan, so every time I take it off, I got to put it on.
Yep.
I think I stripped one of the screws,
Oh, no.
putting it back in, so it now rattles.
Oh, no.
When I change my oil next, I have to take a look at it, a closer look, or hopefully I can just go down there and I just didn't tighten it all the way. I'm hoping it's that one, but I'm worried that I stripped it so that way I can't put it back in properly. So now it's just when I'm going down the road.
You can hear it pretty clearly from the cabin?
Oh yeah, it's right underneath my feet.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Well, I don't know how to help you with that one, buddy.
Yeah, I just
That might
probably
be
get a new screw.
Ford mechanic thing.
Nah, it would just be buying a new screw for it.
Yeah, but getting it out is the issue.
I don't know how to explain it, but some of the screws aren't like a normal bolt screw. They're kind of like
It's like a hex key.
They're not. Yeah, this one is a hex key. I think it is, but it goes into something else. It's weird. I could replace it myself. It's not too difficult. I would be able to get it out myself.
Okay.
Because it goes the way it sits. It's up against something else, but the piece that it's connected to isn't bolted or like has the screws. There's something else like basically on the backside.
So is it the screw that's rattling, or is it the thing that's above the screw that's not attached to rattling?
I have no idea. I have to take a look. But I know when I was down there, I had one that I would have to play with in order to get it back in because it was kind of stripped.
Okay.
So I have to take a look.
Well, that sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. Speaking of oil changes, I needed to do an oil change on the Explorer. And Olivia keeps bugging me about it. I'm like, it's not even being driven right now. Relax.
Just take it to a quick oil change place. They'll do it quick and you'll be done with it.
Yeah, for $100, fuck that.
It's $100 now?
Probably.
Jesus
It's like
Christ.
$50 worth of oil and then the labor cost. I can also just do it myself. It's so easy. It's literally a single bolt.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's very true. You got any more, or is that
No, I think
you got?
that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Is there anything else you got now that we've talked about some other things? I do have a couple questions too, if you don't have any.
Go ahead with your questions, because I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit to modifying your bed, so that way you have like an outlet back there.
Okay.
So I actually saw a video of people being smuggled into the U.S. in a Ford F-150, and they had to rip off like the side panels right above the wheel well, and like there are like 3 or 4 people stuffed in those areas. So I also have seen on the newer vehicles they put like gun lockers in that area.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of room back there, so you could probably do it yourself and just route the wire that way.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. It's just a matter of am I going to do it properly, especially when it comes to that kind of high voltage power. I personally don't trust myself to run that kind of electrical line to my bed. I'm sure I can pay someone to do it, and I'm sure I have a few friends that know how to do it. But
I'm sure it's easy enough. You could do it yourself. Like,
I just don't trust myself to deal with high voltage like that.
as long as the battery is, you're not connecting both at the same time, you will be perfectly fine.
It's not about me shocking myself. It's about maybe starting a fire in my truck.
as long as the wire is in good condition and it's not crimped, it's not cracked, it's not anything that's gonna, rub up and cause damage to the wire. It's just like every other wire that's running through your truck right now.
That I did not install.
Yeah. Some guy that's being paid minimum wage to sit in a factory, or even a robot. Like,
robots don't run wiring harnesses.
well, they could.
Also, they do not make minimum wage at a freaking car factory.
Nah, that's more than true. But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yes. Either way, I just don't trust myself to do it. You want to do it for me? Just don't burn down the truck.
I'll help you. I can help you. I've ran like 3 or 4 different speakers across a couple different cars.
Oh yeah, have you looked into replacing that speaker or looked at that speaker yet?
Oh, actually I have not. I did not notice that at all. What he is talking about, everybody else, is I got a distress call from my wife about how one of the speakers in the door is going out. But when we were driving earlier today to go to the gym and back, I didn't notice the speaker being out, and she didn't mention it to me again. So I think it was just having a weird moment.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you know what kind of speakers are in there currently?
No idea. If I have to replace it, I'm probably going to get something bougie, though, Get that nice audio.
I'm putting my money into something else, but I'm going to buy great speakers for my truck.
If I have to replace it already, then I'll just get a good one,
You gotta make sure it's compatible with your truck, though.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. A real genius move there.
I know it was. Thank you for noticing. I try my best to be a genius when I can. But I honestly forget the original question.
We were talking about just running it back and running the wire back. So
yeah, I think I can get one of my buddies that does crazy modifications to his vehicles in general to help me if I want to do that. It probably won't be for a while because there are many other things I'd rather do before that point. Now, if I was going on like a really long expedition, like I've told you my dream about going from Alaska all the way to the southern tip of South America. Have I not told you that?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay.
But that does sound like a fun trip.
Yeah. If I do something like that, then yes, I would definitely do something. I would definitely add that to my truck. But until then, there's no purpose for me to add that.
That would have to be close to retirement age,
If my plans that I'm setting in place go the way I want them to, I might be able to do it before retirement.
That'd be pretty badass. And, have you already taken a look at how long that trip would be?
From other people's experiences, it's taken them, if you went all the way through, 3 months.
3 months?
3 months. But it took them, the person that I know that did it, took them a year and a half to plan it all out, because you also have to get visas and plan all your stops and just all this other different stuff.
Yeah.
I would have to take a team with me, for sure. Because that would be...
I volunteer as tribute.
You'd be one of the first people to do it with me. But yeah. No, that would be...
How many cars would you think? 3 at a minimum, at least, I think.
3 at a minimum, yeah. Because you have to be carrying... I would imagine one would be food storage, one would be gear, and one would be anything else that we would need.
Pretty much clothing and shit.
Yeah. They did it with 5 cars though, but they were also filming.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool to do, by the way.
Yeah, but they probably had a whole bunch of professional gear. We could just get a bunch of GoPros and do a low budget thing.
Yeah. It's also super expensive too, so.
All right, well, is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to go ahead and wrap her up?
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Adventures Beyond the Horizon. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did. Today, we discussed some things we didn't like about our trucks.
If you enjoyed the episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast so you never miss another adventure. And don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out, and it helps other adventurers find us too. We'd love to hear about your own adventures and any other topics that you'd like us to cover in future episodes. Connect with us on our Instagram and our other social medias, or drop us an email.
Until next time, keep the spirit of adventure alive and always be ready for the next horizon. Peace out.
Gonna hit the trails where the wild things grow, kicking up dust with no place to go.